channel. It is just Mahalia here. This is my 30-day fast video. I'm gonna actually take these off because there's too much glare. This is a very special video and I've been putting it off for a while because I wanted to explain it right to y'all. I'm hoping this video helps some people that want to do their own fast or are trying to get closer to God, whatever it may be. I feel like this video will help you, so stick around. Let me give you a little bit of a backstory. I'm 22. Been on this earth for 22 years. For a good amount of those years, I was very kind of just living life aimlessly. I found myself in like a deep hole every couple of months, and I would feel sad, I would feel anxious, I would feel scared, I would feel doubtful. And anytime I reached that place, I would always journal and I would pray and I would go to God and ask God to help me. And every single time I prayed and asked God to help me, He did. But of course, I just continued what I was doing, you know, having my multiple partners and sinning and lying and living for this world. And it was easy for me to do that because that's what I was used to. When I said, okay, you know what, I gotta focus on myself, God kind of entered into my space when He realized that her focus is no longer on boys. When you finally choose to let go of the things that have been distracting you, getting you into trouble, hurting you, that's when God really comes into the picture. Once you make that decision, like, I don't like the life I'm living. I'm really unhappy, and I realize it's because of all the things that I allow to come into my life. I was a very hypersexual person. I use it to distract myself, and I use it for temporary pleasure. And obviously, those things are fleeting. They disappear. Feelings disappear, the sex stops, then what, right? And that's when I really got into those deep states of heaviness. A little after that, about 2-3 months after I said I'm gonna focus on myself, I met Jason. If you know Jason, that's my boyfriend. We started off as friends. We were friends for about like 5-6 months before, you know, we transitioned into something more. All right, let me be for real. Anytime me and Jason linked up, we would smoke and we would talk about God. That was all we did. At that time, I wasn't really involved with God. I always wanted a relationship with God, but I never took action and I never really sought after Him heavily. You really have to make space for God to dwell in that space. If there's no space, how's He gonna fit? For a long time, God was just like this thing that was intangible. Can't touch Him because He's not close to me or I'm not close to Him. He was this vast concept and idea that I couldn't wrap my head around. So now that I had this space for God and I also was talking about God and understanding Him in a new way, that's when things started to change and I started to slowly become a new person. It doesn't happen overnight. It's not perfection, it's progression. Around the time of my fast, I realized that I was kind of falling into that deep end again. Like, I was feeling that heaviness that I felt before. I was feeling that darkness that I felt before. It's not as heavy as it was before, but it was more so just like my relationship with God kind of reached like a flat line. It was do 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 do, and then it was kind of, you know, I definitely was still unhappy and unfulfilled, and I knew there was something that was missing, and that's when I decided to fast. I was actually at my job. I spoke about this in my decisions part 2, the discomfort of obedience video, my second video on my channel. I posted something on Twitter saying that I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place, but God can move mountains. And then my boyfriend actually commented and put the scripture up that says, because you have so little faith, truly I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say this to the mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. This doesn't go without prayer and fasting. And when I saw that, I decided, maybe it's time for me to fast. I never conducted like a fast on my own. It was always like, oh, my church is fasting, so I'm gonna fast for a week with them or fast for 3 days. I decided on 30 days because at the same time, I was very discouraged about my job. And that's what the tweet was about in general. It was about my job. Like, I really felt stuck there. I gave myself 30 days to stay here at this job. And now I want to fast. So I'm going to do a 30-day fast. So at the end of fast, I know what to do. And here are the few of the things that I fasted from. Food. Me and Jason didn't have sex. I didn't masturbate. And what else? I didn't smoke weed. My fast started on August 3rd and ended on August 31st. When conducting a fast, I'd say choose wisely the things you want to fast from. It doesn't have to be food. And we also fast from social media. But it doesn't have to be social media. It doesn't have to be sex. Choose what you believe is hard for you to stop doing. Because ultimately what a fast is taking away like things that you usually use to sustain yourself, like food, things that you use as vices. I tend to use food as a crutch sometimes. If I'm bored, if I'm looking for something to do, I'm gonna go get a snack. And that's my something to do. On social media, I've been always on my phone. I was on Twitter a lot, always on Instagram, always on TikTok. So that's something that I knew I didn't want to indulge in every single day. I chose masturbation as well because that's also something I use to, like, if I'm having a bad day, by the time I hit my bed, it's like, okay, it's time. It's time. Masturbation is kind of something that relieves that tension in you. So I relied on that a lot. And smoking weed, because I smoked weed pretty often. That's also something that I wanted to cut out and like kind of minimize. And sex. Now, I actually had all the other things in mind when I told my boyfriend about it. After I told him that, I felt it in my spirit. And God told me, he said, "No, you gotta do sex too." I said, what? This is me in the car sitting next to Jason right after I told him. I'm like, bro, no way. Because that is my man, like, and it's not something that I'm fiending for, but it's something that I enjoy doing with my man. So to cut that out was very daunting, but I did it anyway. God led me to, so I listened. If I'm gonna fast, might as well listen to the person that I want to connect with. I told Jason while we were in the car, and he was like, okay. Ooh, God bless that man. That's why I chose to fast from those things. I wanted to include that because it's important to know that it's not just food you're fasting from. It's not just this or that, but it's your actual vices that you need to look within yourself and choose to fast from. Another thing I did often was journaling. I wrote down everything. Every sermon I listened to, I took note. I'll leave some of my favorite bishops, pastors, podcasts, all that. I'll leave that in the description below because that helped me tremendously. Every conversation I had that felt good in my spirit or bad in my spirit, I wrote it down. Every trial and tribulation, every temptation that occurred, I wrote that down because it's important. When you go back to the things you wrote, it's like you're revisiting previous emotions. Don't piss me off. I thought that was fighting. Hi! But you're revisiting previous emotions and putting this new logic and mindset on it because you're not the same person you were 4 months ago. So when you revisit that journal entry from 4 months ago, you're kind of understanding who you were then, why you were like that then, and who you are now. And it's nice to see where God works on you. God is working on you the entire time, and you don't really realize until you go back and you're like, oh, God was talking to me. Like, obviously I was saying the right things. Obviously I was feeling the right things. The nice thing about fasts is that it reveals to you your weaknesses. It reveals to you the things that you truly worry about and you sweep under the rug without telling anyone about. So during the time of this fast, my period wasn't coming in August during the fast, so I got really scared. I thought I was pregnant, and around this time my tonsil also swelled up. This is when monkeypox was like a big thing. I had root canals that needed to get done. Like, it was just back-to-back physical damage. Like, I was really confused. Like, my body was changing. Everything was kind of shifting inside of me. I was afraid because I wasn't in control. And I actually wrote about this because something that I knew I wanted to revisit. I was painting and I found myself extremely discomforted. I broke down and began talking to God. I told him how scared I was and how tired I was. I was truly afraid of what my body may be going through. My root canal, this pregnancy scare, and swollen tonsils really began to get to me. I felt out of control. I'm starting to realize, even as I'm typing, I'm a control freak. As much as I say that I live by giving all my worries and burdens to God, I get impatient if my problems don't get solved or updated after a few days. The last 2 days of this fast made me realize I'm very impatient, not only with myself and the people around me, but also with God. Psalm 46 verse 10, he says, "Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in all the earth. Fasting opens your eyes to your own truths. It opens your eyes to what you've been doing wrong and right as well. It puts a mirror in front of your face. Let me see. I think I spoke about this somewhere. But I said fasting with the intention of purging my soul is interesting. The hardest part is the beginning. Not even the hunger, but the mirror that's put in front of you. When you want to be free, you have to first see what bonds you in the first place. In my case, it was my past sexual relationships. Last night, I tossed and turned. I remember this. This was actually the first day of my fast. And I was like, why am I tossing and turning like this? And I laid there quietly, and God spoke to me and he said, I didn't like what you did. I'm disappointed in what you did in the past. Those are the things you're still holding on to. Those are the things that are still on your mind, even without you knowing. I knew what he meant because when he was speaking to me, I was thinking about my exes. I cried and I cried and I cried and I apologized. I said, thank you. Thank you for showing me and thank you for forgiving me. And then there was this ringing in my ear and I didn't realize my ears were ringing. It wasn't a ring, it was more of a hum. It was like as soon as I said that, the buzzing stopped and I fell asleep. I said, wow, God is good. That's why he said, come to him with everything, every sin, with every wrongdoing. That's all he wants you to do. It's not about making you feel guilty. It's not about making you feel less than or shameful or dirty. That's what the devil does. He's there to convict you. Conviction is just making you realize what you've done. You just wanted me to be good. You wanted me to be a light in this world instead of following other people. So you could say the fast started off pretty good. It was Indian life swimmer, first day. I wanted to be as transparent as possible in this video. So if you're trying to fast yourself, I don't want you guys to feel guilty for breaking your fast or slipping up. It's possible and it may happen and it's human, but continue, because that's exactly what life is like, especially when following God. You're gonna mess up, you're gonna curse, you're gonna smoke weed, you're gonna have sex. You know, like you're gonna lose your way, you're gonna get lost, you're gonna get distracted. But always come back to God and do not make it a pattern to leave and come back and leave and come back and leave and come back. And this is a song by Jonathan Reynolds, I forget his last name, called Cycles. And in the song he says, the enemy learns from your mistakes even if you don't. So when he saw you have sex and then get your heart broken and go home crying, he knows that in order for you to stay in that darkness, all you gotta do is have sex again. He's gonna tempt you again. Give yourself the permission to learn from your mistakes. Towards the end of the fast, me and Jason were gonna celebrate by smoking and just chilling out. But we decided against that and we decided to do mushrooms instead. Relax. I know a lot of y'all that know me in real life watch my videos. Yes, I did mushrooms. Yes, I did it previously and it was a good experience. I did it about 3 times. And it was always chill, it was always calm, and I always enjoyed it. It was always a very reflective and interesting time when doing it. And I always did it with Jason. I was never alone. This time was a little different. It was a very interesting experience because it was something that solidified the fast for me. It was a very scary, traumatizing, insane, life-changing experience for me. That experience solidified my trust in God. But that will also be a video for another day. As for some tips for like fasting, you're gonna feel a lot of discomfort going into this new version of you because it's new, it's not something you're used to. The reason it's so hard is because it's familiar. You're letting go of something familiar. It's not gonna be an easy transition, but it's a transition that's worth it. There's a bigger and better version of you and a bigger and better version of your life that's waiting behind this wall of saying yes to God and welcoming him into your space and into your body and into your mind. One tip I definitely want to give you guys, if you're planning on fasting yourself, speak to God every day. And if it's something you didn't do before, go in cold turkey and wing it. Just wing it. If praying is hard for you, write your prayer out. That helps a lot. Have a conversation with him every day. Imagine that you had to call your best friend every day and tell him about how your day went. Same thing with God. Imagine you have to call your best friend in the morning and tell him how you want your day to go. Same thing with God. That's how he wants you to speak to him. Any other tips? Also, journaling and writing as much as you can. Take notes on the sermons you listen to in the Bible books that you study. My last tip is the devil will tempt you. He will not get off your butt. He will not. It is expected, and for some reason the temptations will get louder and it will be easier for you you will have easier access all of a sudden to sin. Everything that you don't want to do, you're gonna have easier access to do it. But the only thing the devil can do is persuade you. He's a salesman, bro. And in those moments of temptation, reach out to God. Speak to him in the middle of the party when your friend is handing that drug to you. Speak to God. You don't have to do it out loud. It could be internal. He's there. He hears you. And look for him to guide it for guidance instead of trying to face it on your own. Saying no to the things that you enjoy is very difficult. But yeah. And the last tip, do not give up. Do it and make it something enjoyable. Make it intentional. If you could get somebody to do it with you, that'd be awesome too. So you guys could both hold each other accountable and kind of check up on each other throughout the day. I feel like one thing that changed in me after this fast is that I don't really waste time on things. I don't waste time on things that don't make me a better person or that don't bring me closer to God. If it's something that I know is not for me, goodbye. Okay, so I just want to read to y'all this little blurb. I wrote this on September 30th, so it was exactly a month after my fast ended. So I said, this fast made me realize I'm on this right path. The enemy being angry shows I'm letting go of things of flesh and giving it to God. Although I'm tired and annoyed, I know Jesus is by my side through this life and I'll be all right. I have an expected end. With beauty, abundance, and grace, a life full of joy and peace. That's all I ask for. I get discouraged easily, and because I put on this face of strength, it's hard to confide in people. People, including myself, think I have everything in control. These past few weeks have shown me that I'm in control of nothing. The only choice I have to make is if I want this world to guide me and my thoughts, or do I want God to guide me and my thoughts? He has proven to me over and over that his hand is in my situation, and I will win. I will thrive and grow when he's near me, and right now that's all I want. I want to grow. I want to be better and wiser than I was the day before. It takes so much work to continue. I'm tired. I want to give up, but I won't. I feel like I'm fighting myself. It's like I'm in a cocoon and I'm fighting to get out, but the only thing I'm hitting is myself. I know there's a transition coming, a change that will happen very soon. I just need to hold on a little bit longer. Give myself the permission to work hard. I'm trying not to feel sorry for myself, but it's been a long 2 months. The Mahalia on the first day of August would be in awe of who she has become just 60 days later. I'm not where I want to be yet, but the work I'm doing now will get me there. I want God to keep working on me. My life is not my own. I'm living for him now. I have a purpose and I have a mission. I know this is just the very tip of the iceberg. I'm excited for what's to come. Nervous, yes, but excited for sure. I want all the people in my life to bear fruit because of how the Holy Spirit will guide me in conversation and in their presence. I trust God. I've given him everything and I know it's in good hands. All right, y'all. Thank you for watching. This is the end of my 30-day fast video. I really hope you enjoyed it and that some of the things I said really stuck with you. I was very transparent and open in this video. I spoke about things that not even my own mother knows about. So, yeah, go easy on me. I feel like it's important, especially when speaking about God and faith and this journey. I can't hold back. I don't want to withhold things because it makes it less powerful. It makes it less honest. If somebody's watching this and I didn't speak about my sexual experiences and I didn't speak about drugs and all that, they're gonna think that they're too unholy to ever experience what I experienced. Incorrect. No such thing as a person too unholy to get saved by God. That's all I got. I shall see y'all very soon, in 1 week exactly. And I love you. You guys are awesome. I've been getting a lot of great feedback, so that makes me very happy, very, very happy. I feel like I want a cool outro. God bless, never stress. I love you, and I will see you soon. Bye.